gone through a world of people who filled their houses with crystals, who had incense burning everywhere, who wouldn't share an apartment with someone who was a Scorpio because it was bad vibes. I came from all that. And you know, as someone who's come down with various ailments over the years, and which of us has not, I've tried various forms of alternative medicine, and I've always come back to, oh, for God's sake, can I just go to a doctor, get a prescription, and either get a shot or get something from the pharmacy, and I'll be ready as rain in a week. But I came down with something about a year ago that couldn't be cured. It just couldn't be cured, easily at least. It took 3 or 4 months to even get it diagnosed. We kept going to doctors who would go, I don't know, maybe you have eczema, I don't really know what this is. Some doctors would just go, I have no idea what this is. You know, I sort of ruled out leprosy and syphilis and, you know, some various ghastly things. But when you go online and you look at pictures of body rashes, you won't sleep well that night. It's pretty horrifying. There's stuff out there you don't know about. Indeed, I had something that people didn't know about. Finally, after many different appointments, while going to an oncologist to see if it was some sort of cancer at Cedars Tower, the guy said, you don't have cancer. I don't know what you have, but you know, I remember reading about something called bullous pemphigoid. I go, is that a Turkish chicken dish? Bullous pemphigoid? No one's ever heard of it. It's totally and completely obscure. It's listed on the Mayo Clinic as extremely rare. And he said, you've got to get several biopsies to figure out what the heck this thing is. So it's like, okay, it's basically a skin rash from head to toe and everything around there, including inside the mouth. So you are itching all the time. Basically, you're just flaying your skin off. You're having a terrible time of it. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't stop itching. I was a miserable human being. And I found, it took about a month to find a doctor who could even deal with bullous pemphigoid, of which there are very, very few. There's one down here, there's one up in Stanford, there's one up in at Chino State. There's very, very few people who bother with it because nobody has this darn thing. And it took me a long time to get an appointment. I finally got to see her, and she was like almost dismissive. She was, oh yeah, you have bullous pemphigoid, no problem. We'll put you on monster amounts of prednisone and a bunch of other medications, and that should slow it down, stop it. If that doesn't work, you have to go for chemotherapy for it. I thought, oh, fun. But meanwhile, while taking all these things, the itching continued. I was getting no sleep at night. I was a miserable human being. And I would get all sorts of medications, high-end, expensive medications with long names that we'd spread on me. I looked like a glazed donut most of the time, and it did nothing. One of them, memorably, was this little tiny tube, just a little tube, about the size of, I don't know, just one of the little bottles over there. And it would make me feel okay. It was a foam, you mixed it up. It took you 3 days to go through it. I went back, I said, hey, can I have a refill? They said, well, you'll have to pay for it yourself. Insurance won't pay for it. It's once a month. I said, yeah, I'll pay for, what is it, $40, something like that. It was $996 for the little tube. Actually, it was $996.25. And when they charge you $996, you figure they'd let the 25 go. But they didn't. So a friend of mine, Richard Drapkin, for his mother, who's well into her 90s, they've been using a lot of medical marijuana products, medical cannabis products. And he said, okay, you should try these things, you should go to these places, you should explain what you want. So I said, okay. And at the time I had to get a permit, you know, a medical cannabis permit, which was online and was ridiculously easy. You know, just 3 questions, and the guy would nod sagely and go, give me your credit card number, it'll be coming up on your email in a few minutes. I went to other places, and it was like a magical world. It was like if I had just come from the rainforest and walked into an Apple store, I wouldn't quite know what I was looking at. And in this case, it was very much like that. It was like, what is all this stuff? What's CBD? What's THC? What is this stuff? And they gave me a cream that the first time we put it on my back, I stopped itching. It went away. I got a little vape pen that was for sleep. I tried the vape pen. I slept like maybe 2 hours, which is the most I slept in a long time. It was like, this is a magical world. Who knew? And as a cynic, I didn't really believe in plant-based medicine. All good medicines are made in laboratories, right? They're made by guys in white coats. I did a little research this morning. Did you know aspirin comes from the willow bark? Or penicillin is penicillium mold. Sudafed is from a bush called Ephedra sinica. Digitalis, of course, is foxglove. Quinine, which heals malaria and lupus and arthritis, is from the cinchona tree. There's so much stuff out there, and we know so little about it. And because of the restrictions in this country, research is very, very limited. Much of the research is being done in Israel, where they've sort of figured out this is good stuff, this is the future. And indeed, it is the future. You probably have read, possibly have read, that people like Martha Stewart are investing heavily in medical cannabis. Martha Stewart, Martha! And boy, will she have lovely pipes and beautiful, beautiful boxes full of the medication, because it's Martha, it's what she does. Anyway, this show began first with my quest, then with knowing the wonderful Joanna Belson, one of my partners here. And Joanna's parents went to school with me. Actually, her mother began in kindergarten with me. So we go way back, and Joanna's been in the cannabis business for quite a while.
2 years.
2 years, okay, it's quite a while. And then through another connection, we got to meet Janice Hardoon. Janice is you'd be the cousin of Joy,
best friend.
and that's Mary's best friend. That's Mary, my wife there. And so it was like, for those who knew Yiddish, it was b'shert. This was meant to be. And the idea kicked around in a few odd ways, but it actually came together very, very quickly as this is how it will work. People want to know, they want to know the basics. What's CBD? What's THC? What can it do for me? I have arthritis. I have itching on my back. I have whatever I have. And the deeper I got into this world, and it's only the tip of the very iceberg, the more I learned and the more amazed I was, which is a good time to ask Janice to get up here and explain how, Janice, you should understand, modest as she is a pioneer in this industry. She is a real figurehead in terms of particularly CBD. You've opened a CBD store over on Melrose called The Antidote, which is next to your other store, K-Town Collective. And Antidote is all about CBD. It's all about healing. And you've inspired us, and you do every week when we do our podcast. So if you could introduce yourself and talk.